Hi, I'm calling myself Mr. Nobody because I feel I may have a message for the world. And this message comes from my dreams. Now, I've been a big dreamer since I was a young man. And when I was younger, I was not treated very well. So I used to escape within dreams within the sense of music, through going to sleep, in any way I could in the way of escaping. And I just feel that the story that I've got in my head that has been bugging me for months now needs to come out. But first off, I'm going to start the story off from who I feel is the mother of this earth. Now, in this dream, it was part of a few more dreams, but in this particular dream, I went into somewhere that was very dark. Now, all you can explain it was there was a circle and it had some sort of design around it, and it went off in, say, like the hands of a clock. And it went off to, and what at the end of it was like thrones. Now it was very dark. Now the only way I can explain it is as if I was in the core of the earth. It was very, very dark black. Now I could see light, just a little bit of light, not much. But I didn't know where the light was coming from. But in the middle of this circle was a lady. And she was dressed in white. And I'm thinking, who's that? So I've gone to go up to her, and as I've touched her arm as she's laying there crying, she's just gasped and looked at me. And I've gone to the next dream. But I feel this woman's got a message for everybody. So I'm going to start off with a song. Now the reason I've picked this song is because this is one of my first time heroes as a young man that helped me escape a world which I thought was not worth living in. And I picked this lady because she portrays someone in one of her films, and she was always my hero in this film. Brilliant, fantastic. And when I first heard her voice, wow, it was like electric that sent me. But when I hear this music, regardless of where it comes from or whoever sings it, it sends me away, and it gives me little visions, if you wish, of like dreams or things that are happening. And because this lady, strong lady, I think is only appropriate. But this, at the moment, is the message and the song from the Mother of the Earth.
I was younger, so much younger than today. Never needed anybody else in any way. Now those days are gone. I'm not so self-assured. Now if I change my mind, I've opened up the doors. Help me if you can. I'm feeling down, and I do appreciate you being mine. Oh, help me get my feet back on the ground. Won't you please, please?
Now, who that lady really was, or I've not got a name, I don't know who she was, but I think it was somebody that may have been forgotten about. But to tell this story, I need to go back to the beginning. Now, I've already had another story, which is the nasty part of my story. But when I was younger, I suffered a tragic accident due to losing my brother. He got knocked over on a road. And I disappeared for a little while, even though it only felt like a moment, only felt like just a normal dream. But an angel came down. She didn't came down. She took me somewhere. And all I can describe it as was like a church, but it wasn't a big church, but I remember the big steeple. And she gave me a cuddle. Now this is just after my brother died. And when I was in, and it had a garden, and I remember the tree to the left-hand side, I can draw all these dreams. It's not just what I'm coming up with now. And she gave me a cuddle. But for some reason, she got really scared. And when she got scared, she ran away. I ran after her. I screamed at her. I shouted. And I pleaded with her, please don't go. Don't leave me here. And as she disappeared, she ran up this church and she leaped into the clouds. And all of a sudden, this big roar. Now, the only thing you can describe it as is like thunder when it gets into your body. That electric that just went, ah, and I was so scared. And at that point, I woke up. Now, even from a young man, I didn't really think about it. It was just a dream. My mind maybe just dealing with the fact that I'd lost my brother. But brings me to another dream I had not so long after this. Now this dream, I went into a graveyard, and in this graveyard was this big massive door, and it didn't go anywhere. And it was all concrete. It had 3 steps going up to it, and the graveyard had little like gravestones all over the place. And I can remember where it was, how it was. But I've been in this graveyard before, but that was later on. But in this graveyard, there's this big door, and you couldn't see nothing behind it. Yeah, but you see the big concrete doors and everything else like that. But behind it was some witches. Now these witches had visited me in a dream before this, and there was proper witches, like you'd see 3 witches, and they had a cauldron, and they was mixing up something, either a potion or a spell. Now that is in my room. I could visually see them, even though I had my back to them, and I could hear them. And I don't know what they was doing, but it scared me big time. And this is, you could put it down as a nightmare or whatever you want, but I don't understand why the witches were there. And basically, but then I woke up. But when I was in this graveyard, these 3 witches were behind this door. And all of a sudden, my guardian angel, who was the person that would give me that cuddle that day, when I needed it the most, she came coming down, crashing down, and she went boom. And all you heard was the scream of these witches. And it did sound like they was being killed. That's the only way I can describe it. But then I woke up. But later on, I had another dream, and I was behind the door. I was on the opposite side of the door. Then I saw what my guardian angel did for these witches, and all I could see was the cauldron, and the cauldron had light coming out of it, and all you could see was a whirlwind that actually come out the light of the cauldron. And I didn't see these witches straight away, but my guardian angel set them free from something I had described as a nasty in another story. Now, why those witches, I couldn't explain. Then all of a sudden, the witches turned into angels themselves. Now 2 of them was the same size as me, and I was lifted up in that whirlwind, so I could see what was a golden ghost angel. She stood right in front of me, yeah, and she was speaking to me. But I was very interested in the 2 behind me. They was dancing. And she first started off to saying, I'm sorry that we scared you when you was a child. And even to this day, I can't get the image of this lady out of my mind. When I woke up from that dream, she must have been talking to me for I don't know how long. When you've got something in your head, and I'm trying to batter out my head telling her to go away. What you doing? Go on, go away. Yeah, I have lovely dreams all the time. And I don't know what happened. See, I'm getting nervous about this story because I don't know how to say it properly. But this golden nosed ghost lady left me a message. But even at the time when I had this message, I didn't know what it was. I just thought it was another dream where I'm escaping from a world that I don't feel very comfortable in. But recently, with the way things are going within the world, it's as if it's supposed to be a message that comes out. And I'd like the opportunity to try and tell this story properly. This is why I'm making this little video, just trying to explain to anybody that wants to listen. You've got the government not doing too well. You've got wars all over the place. We've got the crises. We've had the pandemic, and it seems that whirlwind is us. And it's spinning and spinning and spinning, and it seems to be getting out of control. And this is the reason why I'm trying to tell this story. I don't spell too well. This is why I'm trying to speak the story. And all I can tell you is every thought, every song, every dream that I've ever come across that's either lifted me away or a clip of a dream is coming to a story. Now, it's been with me since June this year, and it is not gone away, and it's driving me nuts. And yes, I do feel like a blatant nutter telling this story in the first place. But it's only till recently, the dream I had about the ladies when they were set free by my guardian angel was in 2015. And all of a sudden, it's all come together as if it was there in the first place. I just never saw it. But I still don't understand what that message is. But I believe there might be a way to prove that I'm not just a bonkers man. And this story is for everybody that wants to listen. And it does involve a song. It does involve us all getting together as one and singing a song. But I think I need to explain my dreams and why and where it all came from. So, in the dream where I saw the lady crying in the middle of the earth, as soon as she gasped and looked at me, I went straight to another dream. Now, in this dream, I was in Wembley Stadium. Now, everybody was there, absolutely ram-packed. And you're all taking pictures of the sky, but there was in a circle in the middle. And I was standing there, because I've already seen this golden lady ghost, but everyone's taking pictures of this lady that appeared in Wembley Stadium. And I'm thinking, yeah. And I winked at her, thinking, yeah, hello, how you doing? But there was a song that they were singing, and it was Bob Marley's One Love. But I heard the end of the song. I didn't hear it all, because it's as if when I went into the dream, they knew I was there, and I wasn't supposed to be there. But as soon as I winked at the golden lady ghost, because we knew each other from the previous dream I've had already, I walked off and I went, I don't know if it's through a portal, but I went to a different dream. And I ended up in a local area of mine, and everybody was in a circle as well, and they're all doing the same thing. Now, it's not the first time I've actually walked through this circle when people are singing the song. Now, they did exactly the same. They stopped, and I only heard the end of the song. And I remember just standing in between these two circles of people, but there was people everywhere, guys. Absolutely everywhere. They're all holding hands in the circles. So I've walked through and I was ready to sing the song with them. I was thinking, yeah, this is a brilliant dream, this one. And they were singing the same song, Bob Marley's One Love. But yet again, I only got the end of the song. But as I've walked off, I'm thinking, why am I in my local area when I've just been in Wembley Stadium? I ended up in a place where the only thing I can describe it, I was on a big hill. And there was a bench, and there was basically a lamp at the end of it. So, and it went down, and you saw the trees at the bottom of the hill, and you saw basically the top of the houses. And what I was looking at was the vibration of people singing together as one. And as I come out of that dream, I saw an image of a man that I'm going to talk about in the dream. And you're not going to believe me, because even I think the dream's bonkers. And this is where it brings me to the story. I need to go back to other stories. I'm just trying to give you the basics straight away of what I've dreamt. I believe the dream was about people, everybody, whoever wants to join in and be counted as an equal within this world. And the song is for us all to get together and sing and create an energy. That vibration that I said when I was on the hill, that was what I was looking for. It was the vibration. And that vibration is going to rock the very foundations of this earth. So the lady that was stuck can hear it. This lady that I've got no explanation for, that was crying in more or less the core of this earth. Now, we're not singing just for the sake of it. You're singing for yourself as a person, as a human being on this earth. There's been nothing but wars, nastiness, be it through religion or through people in power, no matter what. And it seems that it's happening now. Something is happening and it's not right. And I've got this gut feeling in my stomach that something bad's going to happen. And I'd really like to tell this story properly from help from others. But in one of my dreams, I went into the only thing to describe it as, I started on a stage and the whole thing was made of wood. And it smelt of pine wood. Now, when I go into dreams, I've never noticed this smell before, never. So I don't know what that's got to do with the dream. Now, in the warehouse, it was quite big, and it had one little emergency exit. And to the right hand side, there was nothing. The only thing to describe it was two big screens from a cinema. But on the left hand side, there was like people for say King Arthur's Day, knights of the Round Table. But they're running, there was on horses, there was marching, and they were running towards me. And I remember getting a bit paranoid, thinking they're going to knock me over, oh bugger. But on the right hand side, there was the Civil War. And I was thinking Grand Old Duke of York, they had all the guns and there was marching. But nobody was fighting. And there was from two opposite teams from each screen that I was looking at. But I turned away and I looked at the knights again. But when I turned back, I saw the World War. But it looked like the English World War. But they was dressed in American army outfits. Now, these guys, there's two guys there, and you can see them in the corner of the screen, and they were shelling whoever. You know, they was fighting. But they were still fighting, guys. And I got a reason for that. And it's hard to explain. And I'm going to keep saying that. I am. Because I don't know how to say this story. I am very nervous about it. But let's back to the story. And there was shelling. There was hiding behind sandbags. But then, because I got a bit scared, I saw this emergency exit. So I bloody legged it through that. Then I went down into a subway of all things. And the subways that you used to go underneath when you go under the ground. And I don't know, to get to the other side of the road, that sort of subway. And it was, yet again, just a nice big square, just normal subway. But there was like the only way you could explain it was a ramp that went all the way down to a bus depot of all things. And at this bus depot, there was like red and white buses. There was only two of them, there was two guys. And one looked like the bus conductor, and the other one was cleaning the road. Because I remember him clearly, because he told me off. I tried to go back into the dream to tell him off and say, oh, the bloody hell are you talking to? And that's how I woke up, because he told me off. He said, oi, what are you doing here? But the only way I can describe this bus depot is it was red and white. And it was like nice tile, white tiles, and it had more or less a glass roof. And it had the dome on the top and everything else like that. And it had a road that went round to the right, and you see the trees on the left hand side, that sort of thing. But it didn't look like a normal road. And later on in life, I looked at that dream many a times and thinking, no, it was not a road. Because the way it looked more or less like the start of a racetrack. But I believe it might have been a highway. Now, where that highway went, I don't know. But I have been kind of giving answers lately in what my thoughts and my dreams are saying. This is why I could do with doing it properly, so people can interview me and maybe get proof at the same time. And when I say proof, I mean hypnotise me. Because if I feel I've got a message in my head for the world because of the way that things are going and the fact that there's so much nasty and angriness in the world, and I feel that it's my right as a person born equal upon this world to try and get this message out so people understand. I can draw it, I can give you as much detail as you need. But this warehouse, and I kept thinking about the warehouse, and I was talking my other, but then I call it the nasty side of my dream. See, I've not even got to the good. It's the good, the bad, and the ugly. I want to get to the good. Saying the good's fantastic, and you'll understand why I want to get people to get together, hold hands, and sing. Sing for freedom, sing for the soul, sing for the people that can't sing. Because I feel something's coming. I feel that we all need to put our hands up and sing and be counted for those who want freedom and equality within the world. Not this nasty, greedy world that I do not want to be a part of and have not been wanted to be a part of since I was a young man. Oh, there I go again. There I go again. See, I'm trying to get this message out to people and I don't know how to say it. I really could do with some help. So if I send it to you and you feel that you can help me out so I can say it in the right manner so everybody gets to hear it, then fair enough. You can test me as you want. I'm thinking Flatliners. Remember that movie where the bloody... anything. Hypnotise me. I want to do anything I can to try and prove these dreams of what I've dreamt over the years. So back to the warehouse. I think the warehouse is like me. So I've always had a thought when it comes to me passing away, that when I get up there, I'm telling him straight, I do not want to go back down to that earth in any way, shape or form. And I believe these people in the warehouse, because when I saw that exit, it was an emergency exit. It wasn't an exit to go to the bus station. I think it was the exit to come out. And the only rational explanation I've had lately about that bus station is it's the highway from heaven that actually comes back to send you when you get reincarnated. And I think they're like me. They've all decided that I'm scared of limbo, guys. I'm scared of limbo. I don't like the fact that it's somewhere the way you're stuck. And I feel, to be fair, I'm in limbo most days. I got to admit, I do admit in my stories I feel I have a mental health problem, and telling this story kind of really backs that up a little bit. But if you used to speak to me normally, you wouldn't have thought that I'm as crazy as I think I am right now. And I think when people's died, they've made the same choice as me. So that highway, yeah, it's not getting used because the bus station was brand new. Nobody had used it. Everything was spotlessly clean, as if it'd not been used at all. And I think they're in that warehouse because nobody wants to bloody come back to this nasty world. But there's more to the stories. There's more. And I'm going to try and get it out the best I can, but I have to say it in my own words. I've been stalling this story for a while, but it's been going around and round in my head like the whirlwind I'm trying to explain. And I feel something's going to go pop. And I feel we're going to get a choice. Do you want to stay or do you want to go? Because I feel the nasty side of my story is where the nasty people, the greedy people of the world, the ones that cause the wars and the nastiness through history or whenever it came from, that's going to be your future. And for all those who want equality and freedom for every man, woman and child, regardless of race, religion or wherever they come from, to stand up and be counted and understand and sing, and just say, as if you're putting out, because I've had an EVP, I've been looking at like things like from Ghost Adventures. I've even got a story for them guys, and it's just about coming together and hopefully But like I say, I need help getting this story out. I'm very scared about what I'm saying. I'm going to have to redo the nasty side of the story because I lost it in YouTube. And I want to tell you my dreams. I want to tell you where I've been, because I feel that my dreams, when that lady came and visited me back in the day, I think I got given the ability to go somewhere else, because most of my dreams, I've never been like I'm on this earth. So you've not dreamt about your local area, because the one where I told you where everyone's standing in a circle is more or less the only dreams I've ever had where I'm actually on this earth. So when I've gone like exploring with my guardian angel, I've gone flying all over the place, but even when I'm flying, I've always fallen. And that's where it brings me back to the graveyard. I first found out when I was falling how to stop falling in a dream. Yeah, I can go into dreams and control them very, very easily. Nobody can touch me. I'm free. I don't get the violence, I don't get the nastiness, and I disappeared all the time in these dreams, be it through songs, going to sleep, no matter how. But in this graveyard, there were steps. Now this is before the Golden Ghost Angel. I've not got a name for her, so sorry if the description's not so great. But all you can imagine is the black railings, and it went down, and there's a door at the bottom. But I knew full well there's something nasty was down there. It didn't feel right, and it was kind of like a nightmare in a sense. But I knew it wasn't right. I have tried before to go into that door, but I was always too scared, and I made myself wake up. But in this particular one, before I got to the graveyard, I was flying around, and this is one of the first times I kind of remember my guardian angel coming to join me in a dream. And I was flying around, and I was going through some sort of a town or city, but everything had been bombed. Everything. There was nobody there, because I remember landing as I went through a window, but it wasn't a proper window. You'd see the bricks and where it had been blown up and everything else like that. And when I went flying off, and she was there, and I didn't really take much notice. I just noticed she I don't know. I remember her being there, and I flew around, and that's when I turned around and realised if I actually turned my body around, I wouldn't fall out of the dream. Like you're falling from a cliff, that sort of feeling when you've had that falling dream. But so yeah, that's the time when I figured out how not to fall in a dream. And it brings me to another story, another dream that I had. That it was more or less, and this is one of the first times I actually saw my guardian angel. I remember she holding me and she was talking to me, but it's what she said that got to me more than the actual dream. Now, when I get into it, all I can imagine is the Tudor houses, and it seemed like a London park, and you had the nice brick, and it was cobblestones and everything else like that. And I was walking through, and I started in an alleyway. So the park was on my left, and these buildings, white and black buildings, Tudor buildings, whatever they were, on the right hand side. And I've walked through, and I've noticed like these carts and the horse-drawn carts. There's no horses or anything else, but it was all overturned. But everything was still clean. But I saw the people in the park all in a circle as well. Now, this is only I've had to think about all my dreams, every single one of them. But I saw my guardian angel. And I thought, yeah. And I was more interested to go and say hello to her than anything else. So I've gone running up to her and says, hey, how are you? And the only question I asked her was, where am I? And the only answer I got was, you're not allowed to know yet. Now, this is why I want to get tested, so no matter what, regardless if I'm a crazy man or not, you will understand that what I'm telling you about my dreams are true. Jack me up as much bloody truth as you want. Do whatever you need to do, because if I feel I've got a message for people, I think it's only right you need to know. Or you have a right to know, because I want to know. I want to know why this story is in my head all of a sudden, why all my dreams of anything that I've had on my 42-year-old man are starting to make sense. I've had the story in my head, all of it, and it's getting confusing. This is why I feel I do need help. And not just psychiatric help before you bloody ask. See, I've had it in my head for weeks now, but it's as if the story is not ready. Because every time I've asked a question, because I have been asking, I've been looking all over, and certain numbers kept coming up. And 13, 25, 20, no, 27 actually, 27, 27, 13. So I have started looking, and I come up across part of the Bible, and it was Genesis 1.3:13. I started talking about the ladies of the divine. I'm thinking, all right, fair enough. But then I've kind of got an answer to why, who about these ladies that's come and visited me. Now I speak about these ladies that came and bloody abducted me when I was bloody. So it's not one of them naughty dreams before you think, and you do have to listen to my nasty side of the story or my guardian angel story to understand what I'm saying. All the stories are part as one. It's just been difficult to try and get it all out. But they come and kidnap me because they couldn't have men. They couldn't give birth to men when it come to... And they were trying to... Basically, they froze me and used me as basically because they needed a seed. They didn't do anything naughty to me or anything else like that. And I think they are the ladies of the divine. And the thing of the divine, people portray them as these beautiful women that had to put clothes on. And they give me, it's like, I get the feelings and I see, as if I've met them before, in the way of a song, be it through a lady that I find attractive, but it can be through movies. I've got messages from movies. Book of Eli, big time. When it comes to certain beliefs, I think I've got an idea. I don't believe the books are wrong, but I do believe they've been changed to control people in the way of a power. Be it from a king, from somebody who thinks they know better than us. But it seems to be that way no matter what we do or what we say. We are the little people, and regardless, we're going to get trod on no matter what. And I think the lady that was crying is part of these ladies, as if we've forgotten someone, because we always seem to pray to this higher power that seems to be a male figure. Well, we've got to look at the world and the way it is and just consider that, you know something, it does take two to tango. So without a man and a woman, there can't be a baby. But when there's a woman, she can take a seed and still have a baby. But when it comes to a man, he can't have a baby regardless. And I feel that this world was started the same as every single man, woman and child born upon this earth, as a little spark of something. And I believe we are all equal in who we are and how we are, but we're not treated equal. We've got people in countries that have the kids that have got the eyelids turning inside down. We've got wars from a man that's never really given explanation to what he's doing. And I'd love to get this message out properly to the people in the tanks in Russia and just ask the people in Russia, because I've never actually seen Russia as bullies. I've always seen them as quite strong, proud people. So I just wanted to ask them, do you agree with what your boss is doing? And if not, I think people need to get some courage together, pick him up by the scruff of the neck, show him the door, and say, we do not agree with what you're doing. Because when they're showing that referendum thing on the telly, and you could see it in the guy's eyes, look at it's not just my story, you can look at it. Okay, and you could see that they didn't kind of agree with what the guy was doing. See, I'm getting this story confused all the way over. I'm just trying to put it into clippets as best I can. I need someone just to listen to and understand that I've got something more, and I want to be able to do it in the right manner. But it has to come out the way it comes out, because I'm stalling too much. And I feel something needs to be done, and be done soon, because it seems to be getting worse and worse and worse. I do not like the world the way it is. And I speak of a wish where I can cuddle as many people as I can and take them away from this world and go to this world that I've been to many a times in my dreams when I've gone exploring with my guardian angel. And I do have a name, and only recently And I wish I want to be able for people to see it for themselves. I want them to be able to experience it for themselves. And the only way I can do that is by trying to bring people together who want to stand up for equality and freedom and fairness for every man, woman, child upon this planet. Regardless of where you come from or what language you may speak, we all started the same. And if we get together and we make this circle, I've seen it, guys, in the dream, it was fantastic. And everyone was singing. And what we did, we all got together. But because we made so much of a noise, it created this energy that opened up more or less a portal. Now, I've been through many of these portals. But you was able to put your cameras up to the sky, get recording, and you got proof. You had proof. Now, that was to happen or not, I don't know. People come and help me sing. I'd love to prove if that bloody is not a thing that actually happens. So, but it's like the song itself, Bob Marley's One Love. He spoke about, this is not just my dreams. There's other people that's had dreams before me and they was ignored. They was punished for what they've said. Even the man on the cross was punished. And I got a reason. The man was on the cross was punished for no reason. And ever since that guy got let off the cross, I feel he's been put back on. Because some of these, I don't know if it's all the religions or some of the religions, I try not to follow them because I don't like the book, I don't like touching it. It's as if something about that book is wrong, as if somebody lied just to change it for themselves, because if you don't be good, this is what you're going to get. And they show you that cross with a man that was brutally hurt. No matter if he's the son of God or just a normal man, he was brutally hurt on a cross to show everybody, if you step out of line and tell people what your dreams are and want peace for man, every man, woman and child on this earth, you're going to get punished. Now, recently there's some gentleman come up to me and was talking about the religion that he believes in and things like that. And I tried to tell him about the stories I've had about my guardian angel and his golden ghost. And he brought me to a chapter where it was on about false angels. And I got quite annoyed with that, just like I do when I pick up a Bible or anything else like that. It's just, like I say, it's not that I don't believe it. I've listened to a lot of the stories through television, schools, that sort of thing. I do believe there's a heaven, guys. I do. Okay, so don't think for 1 second I'm dissing anyone's religion, because anybody's got that love in their heart, then good for them. But I do feel these priests and everything else of modern day may be false angels, even though they don't know about it. And that's because somebody back in the day changed the book. Look at the film, The Book of Eli. It gives me such an explanation when I look at certain things. It gives me an energy as if to say, look at this. Look at that, mate. Look at it. And I'll keep looking and looking and looking. I watched that film straight after. Because it kind of gave me an answer to what's happening. And it's the guy, when the nasty guy, and they got him, and what you're doing in our city, this, that and the other. And he's trying to talk about the book. If I had that book, I'd be the most powerful person in the world. Well, to be fair, when it comes to things like the Crusades and things like that, they took that means of torture, which they insist we pray to, turned it around and started slaughtering people, as if there was nothing, because they wanted them to believe in their religion. Now, wouldn't that come from somebody, like in the film Book of Eli, who wanted nothing more than just power for himself? And they went out and told everybody, if you do not do this, this is what you're going to get. Then for years and years and years and after, everyone's saying, if you don't believe in this God, you're going to go to hell. As if like you're putting the fear of God into people to believe in that religion. And I don't think a person that's brought us, a mum and dad, the mum and dad who brought us into this world, give us this planet for everybody to share, would actually do that in the first place. So I don't know who changed it, how they changed it. It might have been somebody just trying to be doing good. Somebody back in the day had a dream. I've got this story about a book, and it's just been bloody changed ever since to suit the person or whoever, however, because they want to have an excuse to do harm, but yet blame somebody else who you blatantly can't prove. So this is why I'm telling this story. It needs to come out better than this. It really does, guys. And it's been going around my head so many times. But I don't know where else to go with it. I really do. Just give me a second, I'll come back. See, I'm skipping the story now. See, when I was younger, when my mother passed away, the first time I ever went into a church is we had to go to Sunday service. I think my mum was encouraged to go to the church after my brother passed. And I've never really felt comfortable in a church, no matter which one it is, how you've gone to or all that. It just never seemed right. It just felt uncomfortable, itchy, and I've had that from a young man. And I've never really liked looking into Jesus' eyes when he's up on that cross. Because there was somebody else in that warehouse, but it wasn't in that dream. It was in a later dream. It was at the back of the warehouse, on the wall, but it was still alive. Now this is why I'm worried about telling my stories, because it's like, even I've never really followed a religion. I've chose to ignore it, even though I've told God off many a times for what's happening on this planet. And he has spoke back. Yeah, and I have got messages from him, but not in a sense like you're doomed, you're going to go to hell or that sort of thing. Just a normal conversation as any man that you talk to, as if you're going to work. So yeah, I know my story. What I'm saying is bonkers. So I'm not trying to say to you, we need to all go and get out and sin because we're doomed, because I'm not. I've not seen an end. I've just seen alternatives to where people may be going. And I want to try and get people together to show you and to get you to feel what I feel. So you understand that there's something more out there than what I can explain through this story. But we're all born on this planet and we're all family, regardless if you like it or not. So I believe I could do with help from my family to get this story out. See, I have to keep coming back to it because I just keep getting nervous and I'm shaking about the story itself, but it does seem like it's coming from somewhere else, as if it's not my story. And the stories are coming from songs and things I see within history, and how people have had to fight for their own races to try and keep them safe, but then they've been punished for doing so. As if somebody's got that cross and said, because you didn't do what we said, we're going to punish it for you. But it's his fault upstairs. And I don't like the fact that people portray this man as somebody lonely on his own. I do believe that he was part of a family. And for whatever reason, this family's been split up. And this is where I potentially think that all these religions came from. Not just one God. Yeah, because if you think about it, when it comes to the way that we're made and things like that, we are quite perfect in what we do. Yeah, so you can put it down to evolution, or you can put it down to the 7 days in which he created the earth and created man. But I've even got another bonkers side of that when it comes to the meteorite that hit the bloody dinosaurs. So I'm just trying to get the message across now, so hopefully somebody hears this and can come and help me get this message out a little bit better than what I'm doing right now. But I need to make a start somewhere, because I've got kind of an idea of singing this song on a Sunday at 12 o'clock. Now I've gone and looked at the calendar. There's a certain date coming up very, very soon. That's going to be a Sunday. And would it be lovely if we all got out together at 12 o'clock and had just one big world party and stand up for equality and freedom for every man, woman and child, and just say we was all given this planet and I think we're all entitled to a fair share. Not tell people that are trying to escape from a country coming over on dinghies and risking their lives, their children's, just to be turfed away or told no. I think they deserve a life too. And this is what's in my angry side of the stories. So please, if you can, listen to it all. And hopefully, if somebody gets this message, they can come along and help me. I'm going to put more on YouTube when I've calmed down a little bit and try and finish the story off. But I need to get the ball rolling so I can send it to the newspapers. I can send it to whoever wants to listen so I can explain myself properly. And I'm more than happy to be tested in any way possible. So you can get this story out my head. I can prove to you I'm not just a bonkers man that's lost his mind, who lives in a world that I feels that is not worth living on. I'm going to play out with a song, yeah? Because this was supposed to be at the end of it, you know. I don't know what to say anymore. So I suppose this is my little intro to hopefully somebody listening and just giving me a little bit of help. You know, it must be an advert now. Yeah, I choose this lady because her voice takes me away. The energy that she gets from her voice, and it is fantastic. And when I hear these voices, they take me away to this like little visions, dreams, and it seems to be involved with the future that I'm trying to look at. But I'm not doing it very well, guys. I feel like I'm bloody dying, as if it's my last word, the story of a lifetime. But you know something? If it is the last moments on earth, for myself, and I'm not all about everybody else, then I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about dying anymore. Then they put on these Bibles how nasty it is to die. But do you really want to stay in this world the way that it's going? The greed and the nasty and the anger is getting worse and worse. So listen to the song, and please, if you hear my plea, if you hear this crazy man's words, come and help me tell this story so I can let others know that there is hope and there might be a way that I can actually prove it, even if it is from a song that a man wrote in the 80s that took me away just like this lady and gave me a thought and an idea of how we could actually save this world.
Looking for something we can rely on. There's got to be something better out there.
I have dreams of an electric city that has an alternative power source. But I also have a dream for the nasty people in the world and how they're going to live as well. Where we was underground and nobody had anything, and they was in the circle as well. We had rubbish clothes on, and I can draw every last bit of it, so I can hopefully show people what I've seen, not just talk like a crazy man. Who are the children? I'm talking about the children of the earth. So no matter how old you are, or how you started, we are all children of this earth, because we're all born equal. And I think it's about time people started realising that. Those who are supposed to be looking after us, ruling these countries, and saying they want freedom and that for everybody, but it doesn't seem that way. And I do feel something, guys, something bad. And I've had this feeling many a times when things are going bad, and it's getting worse and worse and worse for me. I want to be able to share it. I don't want to just go to a shrink and just try and tell a story that they're just going to say, oh, it's because of your past and your future's wrong. It's more than that. I want to be able to prove it, guys. I want to be able to prove what I'm saying to you. And I can't do it on my own. I need help from those out there that ideas. My ideas come from computer games, they come from films, they come from songs, they come from these ladies that are so beautiful that even if you was to close your eyes, you know there's a beauty in the room. I don't believe I'm an hero, but I do believe I'm a messenger, because they've told me. So please, anybody out there hears this, come and help me out and help me tell this story for one and all, because I believe it's for you, anybody that's listening, and it's definitely for the world.